Good evening. My name is Angel Miranda Escobar, and today we'll be talking about the initiatives and referendum process in Arizona. To start off, we're going to talk about some definitions. We're going to define the words initiatives process and the referendum process. To start out, the initiative process, according to the Arizona Secretary of State website, initiative process allows voters to propose new laws or make changes to existing laws by collecting signatures from registered voters in order to place them on the ballot. And the referendum, on the other hand, talks about the method by which voters may veto a law or part of a law by gathering signatures from registered voters to place on the ballot. In other terms, initiative is when the people of Arizona are trying to create a new law, but it has to go through the legislative. And in other words, the referendum is when the people want to fix an existing law or want to just have some tweaking in it. So after talking about the definitions of the initiative and referendum, now we'll be talking about the process of the initiative. So first and foremost, you are to propose. While proposing, you gather your committee, your organization to file a new law. After this, you collect signatures. So there's two pathways. You either collect the signatures of a new law, which is 10%, or for a law makeover is 15% of the Arizona voters. It applies to both. After that, you submit the certification of the signatures 4 months prior to the general election in order for them to be valid. After that, it's placed on the ballot, whether it's going to be a yes or no, whether the law is going to be created, and the public will vote on this, whether it's going to pass, whether it's going to not. So now we'll be talking about the referendum process. So there's two pathways in the referendum process. One is by the people, and one is by the Arizona legislative. By the people, it's called the popular referendum, while by the legislative, the Arizona legislative, it's called the legislative referendum. So first, we'll be talking about the popular referendum. To start off, it starts off with the people, the Arizona registered voters. How it works, it allows people to challenge a law passed by the legislative. So something that has already been created or has been existing. The way it happens is that the the committee filing against it must collect 5% of the Arizona registered voters to go against it. The voters decide whether they want to approve or reject the law. While on the Arizona legislative, it happens by it allows lawmakers to send a proposed law or an existing law and to the voters. The legislature votes to place the measure on the ballot, and then voters decide whether to approve or reject the proposal. After discussing the process of both the initiative and referendum process, now we'll be talking about how they are different, how they are like. One of the biggest things how they are similar is that they both have to deal with the Arizona people, the Arizona registered voters. It allows for the Arizona voters to have a voice in Arizona, to be part of that government. It also allows for them to have an opinion on what they are living in. Another similarity is that both have to do with the ballot on whether it's going to pass, whether it's going to be rejected, or on whether it's something that's already existing that wants to be changed. It also limits the amount of power given to the politics, and also another big thing is that they are protected by the Arizona Constitution. One of the biggest things and really only things about the differences initiative to referendum is that the initiative creates a new law. On the other hand, the referendum challenges or wants to change the existing law or wants to make things better or adjust it, since time does change and things do change over time since the process movement in Arizona in the 1900s. There's always the good and the bad in each pathway or process and everything. So we'll be talking about the pros and initiative and the cons as well. To start off, we'll talk about the good. The good is that the Arizona people or Arizona voters have direct power to it. They have a say as in what they want to create, and they have a say as in what they go through every day and make a change and create a law. It also allows people to have direct involvement towards the state government, which is also a good thing. It could also bring attention to those politicians about daily life. For example, how some schools may not be receiving that additional funding, uh, which some politicians won't be able to see because they do not attend school or teaching, or just then they're just passing laws. And how these people are passing laws reflect on them and how much they want to make their life better on an everyday basis. Talking about the pros, now we'll be talking about the cons about the initiative process. So one of the things that makes it hard for this is that people want to make a new law, right? They want to explain it and how it affects people's lives on a daily basis, or how it's going to keep people safe, or how it's going to help resources around the state. But when it comes to the ballot, it's either a yes or no. So it's pretty hard to reduce and simplify that creation and reasoning on why the law should be created. Another thing is that how much it's worth. What I mean by how much it's worth, how much is the law gonna cost the people and organizations. Usually, those who have more money have an easier access on creating that campaign, or creating or gathering those people on what to do. Another con is that with organizations or corporations having money, they could influence voters. They could influence, if you vote for this, we will give you this amount, and so on. So now we'll be talking about the pros and cons of the referendum process. So one of the pros is that it allows people to review and keep those lawmakers on check while trying to continue a law that doesn't really benefit them. It also strengthens the democracy within the people. It increases the involvement within the state of government. The cons towards this is that it can delay. It can delay that some laws have to be wait until the next election for it to be processed or not approved, or the new effect to take charge of. Another thing is that it relies on the knowledge of people. Some people may not have the best knowledge and need a better explanation but on the ballot it just says yes or no, which could affect them. So this allows for the people to have direct democracy within their state of Arizona, because it allows citizens to participate in the government, whether it's passing the law, creating the law, or fixing the law. It also allows for the government to depend on the people. On the Constitution, it says the power reserve the power, which is the people at the end of the day have the last word, have the vote, as long as they're registered and meet the other requirements in order to continue to make a law or to proceed to having the law within the state.